Well, we are on this budget yatra and we are in the midst of a solar field. And the idea is that to talk about the renewable energy sector and what is anticipated from the budget, or what is it that the companies and market experts want for the sector from the budget, because the sector is anticipating several measures in this union budget in order to make the country reach its target of 500 gigawatts by 2030 and net zero by 2070. And we are at the KP Group's facility in Sudi in Gujarat, and in conversation with Dr. Faruk Patel of KP Group and our very own Gurmeet Chadda of Complete Circle. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you so much for being here. And Dr. Patel, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Now, would love to know, do you expect the budget to make some landmark moves to aid the growth of the renewable energy sector?
Yes, of course, we require some more facilitation from this budget. As we know, the renewable energy is the key energy generation for the India's growth. So, as from the last few budgets, we are getting a very good initiatives by the government for the renewable energy, and especially for the panel manufacturing and developers also. And the same thing we expect in the transmission line.
Okay, so let's start talking about this, Dr. Patel and Gurmeet, both of you. Dr. Patel, I'll start with you. What is top of the mind? What if you had, if the finance minister were to say that, Dr. Patel, I can give you only one thing in this union budget, what do you think that will be or should be?
Only one thing cannot be changed the trajectory. So many things, Niraj bhai, required for the growth of the renewable energy, and especially for the ingot to the cell manufacturing all line, we require more facilitation to that particular things. And the same thing in the transmission line, I would say. This both thing can ramp up the renewable energy, especially in the solar field, that we can get the more development in this field. And of course, the base where the buzz is going, and it is really need of today, that if we do the more investment in the base, we will get more the transmission line to be strengthened and the regularization also.
Okay, well, sorry, you want to make a point? Sorry.
I just want to say regarding the base, government should have, I don't know, but they should facilitate in the base cell manufacturing.
Okay.
Which give us the more and more renewable to be go interior of the country.
Okay. Okay.
So one side we have a transmission line to be strengthened. One side we have a land, but there is no transmission line. So AC part, if go there, not only the renewable energy, but the other thing, power generation also can be facilitated to the manufacturer. And 30 to 40% in any manufacturing, we require the power.
Got it. Yeah, most certainly. I mean, and power is the need of the hour. By the way, if you just look around, and I'll ask my cameraman to pan the shoot around before I go to Gurmeet, we're standing in the midst of a very impressive solar field. There is normal solar panels here, and then there are these retractable solar panels which move as per, on the other side, this side are the retractable solar panels which move as per the sunlight, and therefore the generation of power would happen. And it's quite stunning. I mean, Gurmeet, गेहूं के खेतों में होते थे, अभी सोलर के खेत में खड़े हम. It's very interesting. But Gurmeet, thank you so much for being with us on this yatra as well. Really appreciate. What is your anticipation? Because I think all conversations that we've had, almost everybody says that India is making power. Maybe transmission is not happening. Should the budget focus on that or something else?
See, Niraj, I think, thank you, sir, for having us here. I mean, you see old age panels and you see the new age panels, which you call. So I think the government has to strike the right balance, Niraj. If you see the transmission lines, we have roughly about 500,000 circuit kilometers. of which center is around 40, state is around 52%. Private is only 8.5%. So that has to catch up. Government alone cannot do the heavy lifting, and that's the point very well made by sir. So this has to come up. Also, I think the commercial terms which, let's say, a power grid has versus some of the others. So it is also need some policy changes, not just the monetary changes, but even the policy gaps needs to be filled, and maybe strike the right balance, as Dr. Faruk said, between BESS as well as cell manufacturing. So whether it is through VGF or direct policy support, it can be outside budget also. Government has been doing PLI,
Exactly.
not necessarily budget, but I think this is one sunrise sector which is up for boom, and I think if we can really get these gaps filled, I think we have a very long runway ahead in my view.
So, Gurmeet, if one thing needed to be done, and I know it's never just a one thing, but if there was one top of the mind thing that the budget needs to do for the renewable energy sector, to your mind, what is it?
I think if they can do balanced transmission capex with BESS and cell manufacturing and get the amended electricity bill, I think to me that is the biggest reform. So, we have discoms which are struggling. So, and it talks about, the cross subsidy needs to go, where the commercial and industrial funds the lower income group. If a phased wise roadmap is cleared, it's like the fiscal path. If you showed a fiscal path over 5 years, I want to do it. I think what it needed is also a policy roadmap. I think budgetary allocation is coming. If there is a reform like a power reform coming, I think that would be a mother of all reforms. We've had labor reforms. If you get power reforms also in the budget, I think that to me will be my biggest wish list.
Okay, so that's on the sector at large, by the way, not just renewables, but for the power sector at large. If I right and understandably so. So let me try and tackle a couple of these things. Dr. Patel, you spoke about the battery energy storage system. It's a buzzword because I see so many companies these days announce capex plans on the battery energy storage system. What is it that the government can do? There were some reports which said that maybe introduce not just transmission capex, but some subsidies or some amount earmarked for battery energy storage system subsidies.
Niraj bhai, battery energy storage system, as Gurmeet says, that transmission line need to be stabilized. So battery energy storage system is the thing where you can say the things can be controlled by that. I'm not saying the solution, but it's a control by that. Like hybrid solar and wind power against the transmission line can be disturbed, but in the base, by the base, you can stabilize the grid also.
Right.
So need of today in the renewable energy base plays a very vital and bigger role. You can take this farm. See, 120 megawatt DC to the AC is 80. But if the battery storage system to be implemented here only, you can make double than this plant where you can store the power and you can supply by the night.
Got it.
It's simple. So that's a link. That's a link actually.
Not one against the other.
So solar comes in the say daytime, night time the transmission line is free. So base can give the power at night time by the storing that thing.
Got it.
So we need to be one side. We need the strengthening of the transmission line and develop the transmission line. At the same time, the whatever line we are using for the renewable energy, that should be the base also. And of course, the regulatory changes we required in a large way.
Okay. So, Dr. Patel, can I ask you something? The budget this time around, because there has been a pivot towards consumption as well, there is limited funds for capex across various sectors, right? What is the policy statement support that the government can do, which doesn't involve earmarking funds to be given to the sector? Because there are two things that the budget can do. One is to give budgetary allocations.
Yes.
Two is to just change the policy, tweak the policy a little. Where is the policy tweak needed?
See, there is a law for the user as a RPO obligation, we can say. But there is not a force by the till date by the government. I say that if the government asking the manufacturer that you have to support the renewable energy especially, because it's a need of tomorrow and it is a compulsion for the new generation. and for the world also. So if the RPO obligation can be
Sorry, what is the RPO obligation, sir?
renewable purchase obligation,
Okay.
which can be enforced to the captive user.
And what does that do?
It means you develop the plants. It more you need a more solar farm, then more wind farm, and of course tomorrow you have to do it. The speed and the developer can only develop the plant when the need comes up.
Got it.
So they are taking the power. I don't say that they stop taking the power, but if the expansion is going there, you need to compulsion. And as Modi Saab is trying for that net zero. What is net zero? To use all the power by the renewable energy.
Yeah.
That we have to make a compulsion somewhere.
Got it. Okay. So you're saying, but the purchase obligation should come in. Okay. Yes. So that's a policy statement, a policy intent. Gurmeet, to your mind, that is one thing. Anything else which does not necessarily require an allocation of capital?
I think during our conversation, Niraj, we spoke about using other resources like the land, water resources, floating panels. I think the last year it was 1 crore solar installation on rooftops. I think they're at 25-30 lakhs
25
now.
lakhs.
I think can we use, we have such huge coastal line, we have such land fails, we have so much land under disputed of government, railways, etc. Can we use some of it, as a policy nudge to generate that additional energy? Look at the China model, how they use highways to generate, so can we be a little innovative and out of the box other than the budgetary allocation, right? Can we do something on green hydrogen? I think so. If a policy can landmark that, okay, this is how you can use the wastewater bodies, landfills, etc., get them into the formal economy, I think that would be great for the overall sector as well.
Okay, well, this is about the budget allocations, of course, and what the budget anticipates. But must tell you, just a statement of the future cash flows of some of these businesses, and they look promising from generating business and generating power for the country. But we were talking about the budgetary expectations, and Dr. Patel, thank you so much for sharing that, and Gurmeet, thank you so much for sharing your expertise as well, and Dr. Patel, thank you so much for having us in this wonderful solar field.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.